The film opens in an abandoned city, where only a handful of people have been surviving for the past 89 days. Among those people, we are introduced to a family inside an abandoned grocery store. The kids in the family are running around, while the mother, Evelyn, is looking for medicine. She gives the medicine to her middle son, Marcus, who appears to be in pain. For some reason, they are all communicating in sign language. The elder sister Reagan, who is actually mute, sits with her little brother, Bo, who uses sign language to express his desire for a toy plane. He eventually spots one on a top shelf and tries to get his hands on it. He somehow throws it on the ground. Reagan quickly catches it mid-air so it doesn't create noise. Soon their father, Lee, arrives with some useful supplies and shows them to Reagan. Their conversation reveals that they are both working together to make a radio to contact others like them. Evelyn tells them to wrap things up and head back home. Lee takes the lead and tells everyone to follow him quietly. They happen to live far away from the city, so they walk all the way back home. Their son Bo brings along the plane that he was eyeing. Midway through, he mistakenly turns on the plane's music feature. Lee's and Evelyn's grounds are shaken to hear the music. Lee runs to shut off the music. But before him, a ferocious creature takes him away. The scenes directly cut to day 472 of survival against the creatures that have taken over Earth. Lee and his family have moved to the outskirts and have made proper arrangements against the creatures. Lee has set up security cameras in his vicinity and gathered a lot of information on the creatures, including the fact that they have no sense of sight. Hence, they rely on sound to hunt humans down. Lee has finally made his radio, through which he tries to pick up frequencies every day, but only fails. We also get to see Evelyn, who is pregnant again. However, she still hasn't recovered from Bo's tragic death. While Lee guards the place, Evelyn fixes an oxygen tank inside a soundproof wooden coffin, where she's planning to hide her baby because the sound of crying can easily attract the creatures. In the evening, Lee and the other survivors light up a fire to let each other know of their well-being. The following night, Lee's family silently plays board games and carefully eats dinner while making sure they don't create any screeching noises with the utensils. At night, the kids accidentally topple a lantern, due to which their carpet catches fire. Before the kids panic and scream, Lee takes care of the situation quickly. However, they hear some thudding sounds on the roof. They fear the creatures have come and look out the window to witness their presence. Much to their relief, they spot rodents messing around instead of the creatures. Late at night, when the kids go to sleep, Evelyn cherishes some moments alone with Lee. Both of them put on headphones and dance to slow music. The next morning, Lee gets to work. He uses sand to cover some traps. On the other hand, Evelyn's due date is coming soon. She checks her baby's heartbeat and prepares for her delivery. Left unattended, Reagan tries to go to the basement, but Lee catches her red-handed and firmly tells her not to go there. He also hands her a new hearing device that he made himself, but Reagan refuses to take it, claiming that none of his previously created devices work properly. Moving on, Lee encourages Marcus to tag along with him on his fishing trip, but he expresses that he is scared. He doesn't want to end up like Bo. Hence Evelyn has a private talk with him. She assures him that his father will always protect him. Marcus eventually agrees to go with Lee. When Reagan comes to know about this, she insists on going too. Lee refuses to take her and tells her to stay back home to take care of her mother. She becomes heartbroken to see her father not including her in activities, so she walks away from there. She returns to her room, where she tries on the latest hearing device. This time, she breaks down in tears to realize that she's hearing small sounds for the first time. To celebrate this, she packs up some stuff and leaves the house. On the other hand, Lee brings Marcus to the river and catches a fish for him. Marcus gets scared to think that they might attract creatures here. Lee breaks it to him that their voices get concealed by the sound of the current that the river produces. Back in the house, Evelyn picks up some necessary stuff from the basement and goes back upstairs. On the staircase, her sock gets stuck to an exposed nail, but she doesn't pay much attention to it, let alone removing it from there. The scenes return to Lee and Marcus. To put his theory about the creatures not being able to hear them because of the river, Lee takes Marcus behind a waterfall and tells him to scream as loud as he can. Hesitant at first, Marcus screams at the top of his lungs and gets a taste of freedom without attracting the creatures. While Evelyn reminisces about her past at home, Reagan heads to the spot where Bo was devoured by the creature. Despite not having his corpse, they have carved Bo's grave there. While Reagan spends time there, Marcus talks to Lee about how Reagan blames herself for Bo's death. He thinks that Lee and Evelyn also blame her, which is why Reagan is miserable and depressed. Lee makes it clear that it was no one's fault and looks forward to welcoming the new baby. Soon they head back home. They take a shortcut through the woods, where they witness an old man standing in front of his wife's corpse. Lee senses that the man is about to scream, so he picks up Marcus and runs backwards. He hides behind a tree and covers Marcus's face as the old man screams and gets devoured by the creature. Back in the house, Evelyn starts contracting and goes into labor in everyone's absence. She knows that labor can be painful, so she heads into the basement. Unfortunately, she steps on the exposed nail that she had ignored earlier. She almost lets a scream out, but immediately covers her face. Due to this, she drops her family photo album, which creates enough noise to lure the creatures inside. Now with a bleeding foot, she makes it to the switchboard. She turns on the red lights to signal Lee about the danger she has just got herself into. Lee sees the light from a distance and returns home running. Until he arrives, Evelyn faces the creature alone in the basement. She uses a ticking clock to divert the monster and runs away from there. Outside, Lee sends Marcus far away from their house, where he has already placed fireworks. Marcus runs through the crops and lights up the fireworks. Their sound diverts all the creatures to the other direction, allowing Evelyn to scream while delivering her child in the bathtub and Lee to run back inside his house with a gun. When he arrives in the bathroom, he sees Evelyn's blood in the bathtub and assumes she's been taken by the creatures. Tension builds up, but he immediately gets relieved when he finds Evelyn hiding behind the bathroom door. He hugs her right away and finds out that she has delivered their baby. The scenes cut to Marcus, who is seen returning home after lighting up the fireworks. He gets scared that he's being chased, so he panics on his way back home and falls to the ground. Meanwhile, Lee carries Evelyn and their newborn baby to the soundproof room that he and the kids had been preparing for a long time. Evelyn has lost a lot of blood, so she has fainted. He puts her to rest and locks the baby in the soundproof coffin that Evelyn was seen creating earlier. Outside, Reagan returns home to see the fireworks. She takes a shortcut through the crops by chance and finds the helpless Marcus fallen to the ground. When she bends over to help him, a creature comes from behind her. Before it attacks Reagan, her hearing device acts up and causes the creature immense pain, prompting it to run away. Back in the basement, Evelyn wakes up from a nightmare and finds Lee by her side. She speaks for the first time in forever and tells Lee that their plan worked. She assures him she is safe down here and asks him to go out and find the kids. Just when Lee walks out of there, a water pipe bursts open and starts filling the basement with water. Outside, Reagan and Marcus climb the silo and light up a fire to signal their father, but it extinguishes right away. Lee goes to the CCTV monitor room to see where his kids are. In his absence, a creature infiltrates the basement. The basement starts filling up with water, so the creature swims in it and tries to get closer to the baby coffin. She slowly goes near the coffin without making any sound and takes her baby out of it before the creature gets to him. Outside, Lee follows a trail of his kids' belongings and makes his way to the silo. But before he reaches there, Marcus urges Reagan to take measures and head home on their own instead of waiting for their father. Suddenly, the silo's hatch pops open on its own, due to which Marcus falls inside it. Lee had filled up the silo to the brim, so Marcus starts sinking in it. Reagan jumps into it as well to save Marcus, but it only creates commotion. Lee hears the noises coming from the silo and realizes his kids are there. Now, at the same time, Reagan rescues Marcus, the creature finds them, and Lee runs towards the silo. The creatures reach the kids first, but they protect themselves by placing the broken hatch over them. On top of that, Reagan's hearing device creates a weird frequency again, which disturbs the creature and drives it away. The kids get out of there and finally unite with Lee. Evelyn makes it to the monitor room, from where she witnesses everything. She gets relieved to see her family unite, but it doesn't last for long. A creature comes their way again. This time, Lee forces the kids to hop into a truck parked in the crops and faces the creature head-on with an axe. The creature immediately overpowers him. Marcus is unable to watch his father die, so he screams out loud and diverts the creature towards the truck. The creature nearly breaks it open, but Lee sacrifices himself to save his kid. Briefly before that, he signals Reagan that he loves her and screams so loud that the creature immediately turns towards him and eats him in one go. Marcus also pulls the truck's handbrake. It reverses and takes the kids near their home, where Evelyn is already in tears. She hugs her kids and takes them to their father's basement, where he was working on Reagan's hearing device and had made multiple pairs. Now, a creature walks into their basement again, so Evelyn picks up Lee's gun. However, Reagan doesn't let things get this serious and battles the creature with her hearing aid. when it fails against the creature. Evelyn shoots it dead. The gun sound lures more creatures towards their house, which Evelyn and the kids spot through the CCTV camera. As they get ready to face those creatures, the film ends.
Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie recaps like that.